touchdown. And he flips the ball to Rowdy to do with what he will.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Waiver Wire Show Tuesdays. This is the best day of the week. Oh, man, am I going to love the next 13, 14 Tuesdays. Excuse me, need a little dehydrated before we get started on this waiver show. But, man, oh, man, I'm going to love the next 13 to 14 Tuesdays. The reason I say that, guys, is because it is literally the time we build our team and we don't have to screw around. I almost cursed there, but we don't have to screw around with trades. We don't have to hit up people and try to beg them for a player. And, oh, man, this would be, we don't got to do any of that back and forth. We basically go to the waiver wires, okay, where there are tons and tons and tons of players, especially now that we're at the week one, week two, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of funny. I guess we'll put it as week two waiver wires, even though like there is, it was kind of like week one, but week one's over. Week two waiver wires, pickups for week two. I think that's what I tell it. Pickups for waiver wire week two, whatever. But this is the best time of the year for that because the waiver wires are full. There's tons of opportunities. Okay. And all we have to do, we're responsible for digging out those opportunities and putting those guys onto our team before our buddies do. That's basically the name of fantasy right there. Everybody's trying to craft up some big trade. Everybody's trying to, finesse somebody, but waivers is just pure. It's the best way to build your team. So I'm in my home league right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go through a bunch of guys and we're going to break them down one by one. Guys that I like this week. If you guys want the full write-up order, how much I'm bidding on these guys, okay, you got to head over to Patreon. Patreon, link in the bio. $5 a month. You ask me all the questions in the world. Oh, do I trade this guy for this guy? Do I start this guy for this guy? Do I pick up this guy? Ask away. Fire away on our Discord chat. $5 a month. Bombard me as much as you want. I'll answer all your questions gracefully. All right, $10 a month. You're going to get the full write-ups. You'll get the full. You can get one-on-one coaching if that's what you want. I'll offer that. I mean, you want to show me your team and talk about it for 10, 20 minutes, however long you want. I mean, may not be 5 hours, but there you guys get the point. I'm willing to do that on a $10 tier, but pretty much the $5 tier, you get what you guys are asking for. You get the whole, hey, do I bid this guy or this guy? But, the $10 tier, I'll give you how much to bid specifically on everyone. But player analysis, let's get into it. First of all, guys, let's just get into the obvious at this point. Guys that there's no way these guys should be on waiver wire. Okay. Let's go over to Sleeper right here, bring up these guys. First guy I want to talk about, guys, if these guys were in waiver wire, find new leagues. Okay. Those leagues that you're in are complete jokes, but I've seen guys hit me up. Basil Tutin's on waivers. Guys, he should not be on waivers. So Tank Bigsby, obviously, we should talk about that first. Tank Bigsby gets traded to the Eagles, and it's a little bit of I would say a slight disappointment in the way that, he didn't really compete with ETN. ETN looked really good on Sunday. I can't lie about that. And he looks like he's going to be the RB1 for the rest of the way. But the thing with ETN is that he's going to look awesome in September, October, November, December. He's not a November, December back. He wears down as the season goes along. And then on top of that, he's very brittle. So, there's a chance that he can get hurt. And that's kind of where I thought they would use Bigsby down the line. I never expected Tank. It would have been awesome, but I didn't expect Tank Bigsby to just come out and, have 100 yards week one, have 50 yards week one, maybe 30 yards. Honestly, that's it. And, he doesn't get involved in pass game, but he's a different dynamic to that. Now that Bigsby's gone to Filthy, where I think it's a better destination for him because Filthy needs a pure running back to back up Saquon. A.J. Dillon, he's just not it. And then Shipley, who we liked a lot, he's hurt right now with the rib injury. So they needed a backup guy, and Bigsby could be a really good backup for them. I still think he's a guy you want to hold on. In 14 and up, you definitely hang on to Bigsby. In 12-man, you could drop him from some of the guys we're going to talk about today, but I would still hang on to him. 10-mans and below, I would probably drop Bigsby. But what if Saquon gets hurt? Like, that's not out of the realm, guys. Saquon has gotten hurt many times in his career, and he's coming off a 2,000-yard year. That could very well happen. Tank Bigsby behind the filthy Eagles offensive line, that could be scary. And that's probably the team that's going to want to run. I mean, I think they're number one in run rate. The Jets were running the ball a ton, but the Eagles are. If I don't have analytics in front of me, I'm looking at the same screen you guys are. The Eagles are number one rushing attempts team in the NFL. I mean, just going off the eye test, like there's not a team that runs the ball more than filthy. So with Bigsby, that's almost perfect, considering that that's really his highlight. I mean, a lot of what I read is Bigsby struggling in pass pro. He's struggling just being involved in passing game in general, and that's kind of an oopsies to be honest with you. But we picked him in the 10th to 11th round, so we're not totally sweating. If we really have to cut him, it's not going to kill our team. But um, it's week one, so give it a little bit. And God, if let's say we cut him and Saquon gets hurt, everybody's going to bid the entire bankroll, runs and sprints to the waiver wires to go get Bigsby. So we don't want to be that team. We want to already have him at that point. But anyway, let's get back to Tootin. So at this point, guys, you got to get Tootin. I mean, Tootin's now the number 2 running back. He was already being picked as a number 3 running back. Now that he's a number 2 running back, you have to get this guy as a handcuff to Travis Etienne. And I assume now he's going to get even more involved in the rotation. I mean, they pay and pick this guy to get involved. So absolute must have. Another guy that is an absolute must have. We talked to he was like 10th round on our draft board. Guys, if Dylan Sampson is on your waiver wires, find a new week. Okay, your league is trash. I mean, there's no way this guy should be on waiver wire, even though he only had 2.4 YPC. I mean, the fact that Joe Flacco's was just doing checkdowns constantly, and it makes Sampson the most viable running back. And Sampson's a good back, man. I mean, that 2.4 YPC doesn't reflect him at all. I thought when they got him out in space a little bit and just had him, hey, go out there and try to make 7 guys miss. I mean, he did the most he can. And on top of that, the volume is really good. I mean, right now, taking out Quinshaw Judkins, who even though he signed, he's still on the exempt list, which is a little bit of just a hairy situation. I mean, he could be back this week, but he's still got to go over with the league office, the commissioner. He still can't be activated as of right now, late Tuesday night, as I'm recording this. So for right now, Dylan Sampson is a starting running back. He's the best running back in that backfield. He's miles better than Jerome Ford. He's miles better than that other guy they were running out there. And then, this week going against Baltimore, not a great matchup. Actually, I don't know about that, because I look at Baltimore as still a good defense, but the Bills put up 40 on them. And it kind of sucks we're skipping over some of these games, but we just don't have time to recap games, guys. I'm sorry. But, if you guys want to talk ball, join the Discord. We could talk about all the games in the world, but we got to get to these players. And that was an incredible game. But, with Sampson in this case, I just think as long as Judkins is not going to play, this guy is he's the 9th overall running back in fantasy right now. This guy's a every week starter. There's no way he should be on the waiver wire. So again, if he's out there, even still with the Judkins news impending, sprint to your waiver wires and get Dylan Sampson. Next guy we'll talk about, absolute must have. I hate the guy, but if he's out on the waiver wires somehow, some way, you got to go get him. Guys, Hollywood Brown should not be on waiver wires. Okay. 16 targets. 16 targets. This guy should not be on the waiver wires. Sprint to your waiver wire and get him. Rice isn't coming back for 5 more weeks. Worthy's probably not going to come back for another week or 2 at the minimum. This guy is the number 1 receiver on a team with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. It's going against Filthy next week, which is not a bad matchup. Giants is a cakewalk matchup. Baltimore's a solid matchup. Jacksonville's a solid matchup. I mean, you go get Hollywood Brown if he's out there, guys. Should not be on the waiver wires under any circumstance. And then the last guy I would put out there, I would probably put Ayo Manor out there, even though he really didn't do too much. I mean, 7 targets is pretty solid for a 4th round rookie week 1. It's pretty clear they want to make this guy the wide receiver too. But there's a chance that he's probably the most out, like he's out there on a lot of leagues. So Ayo Manor's out there. Pick him up, guys, because, 79% snaps, 7 targets for a rookie. Cam Ward's going to get better. Denver Broncos have a good defense. So LA Rams probably going to be a little bit tough this week, but maybe going around here, Colts, Texans, it softens up a little bit, and maybe you see some glimpses. I mean, look, let's just look last year. Bo Nix was trash the first few weeks of the season. Then he came on strong November, December. Okay. Jaden Daniels was technically garbage week 1. Then he came on strong week 2 and beyond. Like, you know, let's we're a day removed from the week 1. Let's kind of let that just settle in, guys. Okay. There's tons of examples of guys flopping week 1, flopping week 2 and week 3, and then week 5, week 6, they're absolute studs. It can very well happen. So, with why it's so encouraging is the volume is there, the numbers aren't. So a lot of your league mates are going to look at this and say, 2 catches for 13 yards. That's trash. I'm not picking that up. That's a lot of upside in my opinion, guys. So keep an eye out for Alec Manor. We talked about him in the preseason. Didn't have him on my board because I thought he was going undrafted, but he kind of caught some steam late. So managed to pick him up down the line. Now, assuming that you're in a normal league where those guys are not on the waiver wires, okay, which you guys should be. I don't think, any standard 12-man league playing against guys that actually pay attention somewhat to fantasy, those guys are probably not on the waiver wire. Now let's get into some guys that are on the waiver wires. Now, the first guy everybody's talking about, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. Oh my God, Danny Dimes, Danny Dimes, Danny Dimes. Let's pull his ass up. Where is he? I was about to type in Danny Dimes on my computer. Where's Danny Dimes? There he is. Great game. 29 points. I mean, this is the best game of Danny Dimes' career versus the Dolphins. And that's kind of why I'm a little suspect on it, is Danny Dimes is playing the Dolphins. I mean, guys, I mean, let's not. I don't want to have to do a whole breakdown, but the Dolphins are absolute garbage. They're a contender for the like a first overall pick, and I'm not kidding. I mean, that team is disconnected. You could tell they weren't practicing in the offseason. A lot of those players are not showing up early. They're not staying late. You could just tell as soon as practice is over, they're gone. They're out of the facility and they're doing something else with their time. So that just looked like how they played week 1. 33-8, and they got 8 points on a backdoor garbage time touchdown. Danny Dimes becomes the first quarterback in the NFL history to score on every drive. I mean, my God. I mean, how bad do you have to be for the Dolphins? I mean, that's just freaking embarrassing. And for the Giants too, the fact that you never got this guy to play anything like this, and he goes on his first game to another team and plays like that. That's pretty damn embarrassing as well. But look, I think if you're quarterback desperate, throw some change on Danny Dimes. He's probably worth being rostered in 12-man leagues. Um, but I'm not really, just for the right now, I'm not really that, you know, keen on getting Danny Dimes on my team because of these matchups. I mean, Tennessee, they're an okay defense. I mean, I think they're fresh right now, so they'll be pretty solid. Denver's a good defense. Rams are a good defense. This is where it'll start to soften up a little bit. But for right now, I need a quarterback next week. I don't want Danny Dimes against the Broncos. To me, I just don't. To me, it's more of an indictment on Miami. I just don't think that's such an easy ass matchup. Miami's going to be a team this year, guys. Any players? So I think Miami's playing against New England. Anybody playing against Miami, go ahead and throw them in your lineup. Doesn't matter who. The bench players, just throw them in your lineup because that's how bad Miami is. Go ahead and start every single player. I just don't think it's going to carry over. I think he's worth the claim. I'm not throwing big bucks on Danny Dimes, but I'll give him I think he's worth the claim. Going over some other quarterbacks. I mean, this is me. I put Jared Goff on the waivers, so I don't think he's out there, but I'll probably throw some money on him. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, guys, I know you're probably sick of the guy at this point, but this to me, and I was watching, my boy Ron Stewart video yesterday. He said this, as a Jets fan, he probably knows this better than anyone. He said it felt like Favre's last run in Minnesota when Favre would have had that incredible year in '09 with the Vikings, and they should have went to the Super Bowl, but he threw that interception in the championship game. This feels exactly like that for Rodgers. I don't think the Steelers will make that far of a run, but look at those numbers. I mean, for a guy on the waiver wires, that's pretty damn good. And I granted a lot of it helped because he had that. He had the fumble kickoff, and he just basically threw a wide open touchdown on a bootleg. But You take that away, it's still 20 points. I mean, that's solid for very solid for a quarterback that's on the waiver wires. Upcoming matchups, Seattle's a bad matchup. Seattle actually showed they had some improvements on defense. New England's they're a decent defense. Minnesota's a decent defense. So Cleveland's a decent defense. So it's not looking too good for Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, this guy. Look, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers here. At still, we're talking about him, and he's in a lot more of a capable offense. As goofy as Arthur Smith is, I'll take that offense over the Jets offense any day of the week. The Jets offense of last year, to be specific, the Jets offense week one looked pretty solid. I mean, Justin Fields, I don't want to say he balled out, but it was a gutty performance. I don't think he's going to maintain that. But in this case, with Aaron Rodgers, I think there's a chance that he could definitely maintain these numbers. It was clean, it was efficient. There's no rushing upside, which stinks. But we're talking if Rodgers has his mojo back, which it looked like he did for glimpses of that game. They're making confident outside throws, letting the receivers going up and make plays on the football, and uh, you know these receivers are kind of whatever. But look, I just it's Aaron Rodgers. As it's just annoying to say that because I know you guys are sick of me talking about him, but nobody wants Sierra's husband. Nobody wants Sam Darnold. You damn sure don't want Tua. Gino, if you're that desperate, I'm not touching Gino. Flacco, no. Stafford, no. Bryce Young, he's still got a lot to work on. Rattler, no. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best name you got. I mean, I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Danny Dimes, if I'm being honest with you guys. So keep an eye out for Aaron Rodgers, but let's go on to the running backs. And we got to be honest, guys. The running backs are pretty horrendous this week. I'm not really liking anybody at running back. Um, I mean, Monangai was interesting to me because, I thought he was going to get some more rushing carries, especially after he caught that ball in the first quarter. But there's really no volume there. They gave it all to Swift, and the best running back on waivers universally is Kenneth Gainwell, who got half the snaps, which is crazy. But he did some good work in the receiving game. Uh, he had how did he even get like this? This doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, I mean he had 3 receptions for 4 yards. So I don't even know if that really is incredible work, but he was on the field a lot, and that's it's just a crowded backfield. Warren is technically the one, and then Johnson they basically threw on the bench, and this kind of stinks. I mean, I actually ended up picking Johnson in one of my leagues just because I was that down bad at running back by the time the 8th round came around. But for best ball, I have very, very, very little stock on Johnson, which thank God, because if I had a lot of stock, I'd be screwed because this is not looking good at all for Caleb Johnson. He's basically down on the depth chart as a third string. He's probably, again, struggling in the passing game. Same thing with Bigsby. If you can't, it's kind of the lesson we've already known, but we need to re-emphasize. If you're a running back and you can't get involved in the passing game, you're just not going to be a guy, especially in PPR fantasy. You're just not going to be a guy. You're going to be nothing more than an RB3 to 4 at the very best. Like even Stevenson, not great in the receiving game, but he can get involved in pass pro at some level. So he'll stay on the field in some capacity. But Caleb Johnson, if you're not don't really show anything in the receiving game, and then you don't show anything in the receiving game, and then your pass pro isn't that good, you're SOL, buddy. You're not going to find your way on the field, especially protecting 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. You're just not going to stay on the field. So, Gainwell's sake, I'm not touching him. If you guys are that down bad, go ahead, but I'm not touching him. Now, one guy actually, now that I think about it, because his name popped up, guys, if Algiers is out there, that's probably the top running back to get this week. I mean, he had 10 carries, and that Falcons O line is whack. I mean, that's not a good O line. I mean, Bijan ran for like 3 yards per carry too. The downside with Algier, same thing, can't get involved in the passing game, but he's getting the goal line opportunities. It looked like, and he's still going to, he had 25% snap count, but when it came to attempts, I mean, Bijan had like 12, he had 10. It was somewhat of a split. So the fact that you get this guy on the back end of a split in a really good handcuff situation, I think he's worth a roster spot. For this week, he's probably the number one running back. I mean, I'll scan through my list that I was looking off of in case I'm missing a guy, but I really don't think I'm missing anybody. Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like I'm missing anybody, if I'm being honest with you. Algiers is probably the number one guy on the waiver wires, and that's kind of sad because it's like, running back is usually supposed to be a pop in waiver wire, spot, but this year, so far this year, is just not the case at all. And granted, with a lot of our drafts this year, we really shied away from the zero RB strategy, especially just getting burned a little bit off last year's results. So if you guys have been using my strategy, I actually went zero RB, not really by design, just by how the board felt to me in one of my high stakes leagues. But in this league, my home league, 12-man league, I ended up picking double hero RB second, third round, Chase Brown, Hampton, and then shied off running backs until the seventh round. So I'm not really in desperate need of a running back at all. I still debating cutting Bigsby myself. So I'm good on running backs. Hopefully, you guys, if you followed my strategy, you're probably pretty solid at running back. So we'll move on. Now, receiver, we have a few opportunities here. Now, the number one receiver this week, Quentin Johnston, where it's an interesting scenario because this guy could just never really get it going. But I tell you what, man, this is really a bet on Justin Herbert. I mean, Justin Herbert looked really good on. There you could make a case Herbert was the best quarterback from this past week overall. He just looked confident. And what kind of pissed me off about Herbert was that year one, year two, he came out firing. Then year three, year four, he just looked like he was playing like this backup quarterback. Like he was just a check down Charlie, scared, timid quarterback. And it's like, man, you're 6'6", you're 250, your arm is a cannon, you can run, and you're playing like a like a P word, if I'm being honest with you. It was just so frustrating to see that. But thank God Jim Harbaugh got there and, fixed them up and, sprinkled pixie dust on them and put some confidence on them. And I don't know what the hell he did to him, but looked like Herbert's got his mojo back. And if he does, man, you got to get all the receivers on the Chargers, and especially Quentin Johnson, who, he's had his own issues. He's dropped the football, yada, yada. But, 25 points week one, pretty dang good. I think I'd take a stab on him. Now, granted, I mean, I'm in this league, I'm pretty solid at receivers. I might put a little bit of a bid on Johnston. I'd probably put a bid on the point where other people are going to outbid me, but uh, take a shot on Quentin Johnson. Put some money on him if you guys need a receiver, guys. Number 3 overall this week. 82% of the snaps is pretty damn good. The only competition he really has there is Keenan Allen, and that's not stiff competition. I know Allen's got the veteran upside, but there's a chance Allen can get hurt. I mean, he's in his 13th year in the league. I mean, he's one of those players that they probably signed because they weren't sure about Johnston and Trey Harris and Lambert Smith, but they could easily just steer away from Allen as the season progresses and focus more on Johnson. Ladd's going to be the number one by default, but these guys can coexist. I mean, let's not forget, guys, this guy is going into year number 3, and he's a first round pick. I mean, this is a time where it's like now or never. So I'd put a good amount of money on Quentin Johnson, guys, if you need a receiver out there. Definitely something we didn't see coming, but uh, going forward, I definitely put some money on Quentin Johnson, guys. Don't be afraid. I'm not being. If you guys want the full amount, you got to head over to the Discord for that. But go ahead, throw some money on him. Now, a guy we've talked about a lot in the offseason, Dante Thornton. He's probably rostered because the steam on him was big. But if he somehow got dropped, pick him up, guys. 60% snaps. He still showed some upside. Give it time. He's not Puka. Everybody wants Puka Nacua with these rookie receivers, guys. It's an anomaly. Okay, it's an anomaly. It's not going to happen. Right? These guys actually need time to develop. So if he somehow got dropped, pick him back up. He should not be on waivers. Make sure we'll not forgetting anybody else before we get to my big guy out there. Cedric Tillman as well. He was available in some leagues. He should be rostered, but again, if he somehow got dropped, he's the number 2 receiver. I know Flacco hasn't been doing that well, but 10 points per game is pretty solid for a guy that's on waivers. And he had a touchdown as well. So big body target. There's upside there. But my guy that I came on the Friday show, and he was my speculation, my premature deep sleeper. Pick him up right now before everybody else in your league picks him up. Kayshon Boutte. Was there another show out there talking about Keishon Butte? I don't think so. Okay. There was nobody out there scouting Keishon Butte. Your league mates did not pick up Keishon Butte. And if you watched this show last week and you didn't pick up Keishon Butte, shame on you. If you watched the show last week and you did pick up Keishon Butte, congratulations. He's now on your team. And man, he is looking good. I mean, guys, we've already went through the story of him. Just to recap it real quick, 5-star recruit, went to LSU. I mean, we're talking about him in the same room as Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. and Jack Besh and um, what's the other guy's name? He went early in the. I mean, technically Jamar Chase was there as well, even though he opted out. So he was at a stacked receiver room in his freshman year with all those guys in the room. He was a leading target, leading receiver, freshman of the year. Probably got caught up in a bunch of shenanigans and it just spiraled out of control sophomore year, going into his junior year. He got indicted. Well, he didn't get indicted into the NFL, but probably the word got around in campus that he was in deep trouble gambling wise, got into some gambling problems, and then after junior year, at 20 years old, Brian Kelly basically had to kick him to the curb and say, "Hey, get out of my program. Just go to the pros. Nobody's going to want you." And he had no choice. Got drafted in the 5th round just off pure talent alone. Everybody had red flags across him. Belichick basically stashes him. Last year, he showed 589 yards, showed some stretches down the line. And then this year, it finally looked like, in year 3 for this guy, year 3, and he's 23 years old. I mean, he's basically the same age as some of these rookies, and he's in his 3rd year. Uh, you know, it looks like it's all finally coming together. Drake May's finally a legit quarterback, and 80% of the snaps, 8 targets, 103 yards. Guys, this guy right here is a absolute must grab at this point. We're not talking about him as a deep sleeper. Oh, maybe keep an eye on. That's done. He had 100 yards, guys. And this isn't the first time he had 100 yards. Apparently, the last 4 games, he's had at least 90 yards. So I didn't even know that stat until I was, prepping for the show. But I mean, that's more than enough to seal the deal at this point. And he's playing against the Miami Dolphins this week. I mean, which you could honestly consider Boutte as a starter. I mean, looking at this depth chart for New England, I mean, Stephon Diggs is really your only competition. Douglas is going to be your slot receiver. I don't really see him as stiff competition. I know he scored a touchdown, but I don't really see him as stiff competition. Matt Collins is a veteran that's been in the league forever. Kyle Williams is a nice rookie, but he still needs to develop a little bit. And then Chisholm is another rookie too. So this guy could easily. I honestly see this guy being a better version of Stephon Diggs. I mean, I see him as a younger Stephon Diggs. How about that's probably the better way to put it. I see him as a younger Stephon Diggs, and he has like the same size as him too. So I mean, I think this guy could easily be the receiver 1 in this room. Drake Mace, I still think is even though he didn't have a great performance on Sunday, I still think he could be a and I don't want to say an elite quarterback, but I still think he could be a quarterback 1. I mean, with this rushing upside. So uh, I think New England's going to get back on track this week. Miami's a perfect team to do that, and I see Keishon Butte partaking in that as well. So Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans. Pretty good matchups, guys. I'd go ahead and get on this guy immediately. Immediately, he should be one of your top. I prefer him to Quentin Johnston because I see him as a wide receiver 1. Quentin Johnston, he isn't going to be the receiver 1 because Lad McConkey's there. But there, if your only competition is a 32-year-old Stephon Diggs who's on a 1-year contract, he could easily surpass that. And Boutte is going into a contract year, I believe, or maybe year 3. So semi-contract year, he's got to get paid. Point blank period, guys. Get on Keishon Boutte. And then also just to round up receivers, uh, make sure Tesla's not dropped, make sure Torrey Horton's not dropped. Stash guys. Rookies take time. Okay, I see this so often. You guys, you pick up rookies. Oh, I got my high rookie upside. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to these guys. Then after week 1 they put up 0. Screw them. I'm throwing them at the waivers, guys. And then you're gonna regret it as week 8 comes around. All right, these guys take time. So Hang on to your rookies, guys. All right, they're not 1 week wonders. They're not just going to blossom like this. This right here, Boutte he's not a rookie, which is why I talk about it a lot. But cases like that, they're rare, so take advantage. But anyway, uh, let's go to tight ends and then we'll wrap this up. Number one tight end target this week, guys. Jewels Santana. No, I'm kidding. But where's he at? Where's my boy Juwan at? Juwan Johnson, number one exposed player for me in best ball. Oh, I'm on receivers. That's why I can't find him. Juwan Johnson, number one exposed player for me. I have him in 65% of my best ball leagues. I had so many times I queued him up. I'm literally taking a bath doing my best ball draft. And I'm about to wash my wash whatever, maybe shampoo my hair. I'll just queue up Juwan Johnson as my last 18th round pick, and he's there. So many times, man. 100% of the 99% of snaps. He's on the field all the time. He had 11 targets. I don't think it was a fluke, guys. But I got to be honest with you. I think this is by design, in a sense that my theory on him added up. I mean, Rattler and the other guy, Shuck, whatever. These guys are young quarterbacks. They're not doing, they're not Aaron Rodgers. They're not doing 1, 2, 3, standing in there confident, moving around confident. They're jittery. They're 1, 2, and then they get the ball out. Okay. So that's where Kamara is going to eat on checkdowns, and more importantly, Juwan Johnson is he's going to eat on checkdowns, guys. Okay. Yards per target 6.9, YPC 9.5. That's a check down target. And it's not exciting. He's not going to, run vertical, but 8 catches for 76 yards. That's numbers you'll take every single week. 15 points from your tight end, guys. Literally all offseason, I've been talking about late round tight ends. We literally have a guy right here. The number one tight end of the week. The number one tight end of the week is on the waivers. What do you know? The number one tight end of the week is on the waivers. All you guys out there. Oh, I need George Kittle. How's that working out? Oh, I need Brock Bowers. I know these guys got hurt, but come on, guys. Let's get with the program here. You don't got to draft early. So this is why you guys out there are probably hungry for tight ends. Go get Juwan Johnson, man. We talked about him all offseason. I honestly regret not picking him up myself. I just thought, nobody would touch him. And what do you know? He breaks out immediately week 1. And considering that Olave's hurt, Shaheed, I think, was a little banged up. You look at this depth chart for New Orleans. Really not that much competition for targets in general. Kamara, Olave, Shaheed, and that's it. Cooks, I don't see as competition. Palmer, Vele, Tipton, those guys aren't competition. Foster Moreau's not competition. So, Juwan Johnson's on the field every single play. There's a chance that he could definitely eat in a sense. 49ers defense, kind of an okay matchup. Seahawks defense, Buffalo, Giants getting better. But, if anything, with those tough teams, I think they'll look at Juwan Johnson as just non-threatening. They're just going to say, okay, if you want to check the ball down, go ahead. And they'll let him get 6 or 7 yards every time he touches the ball. But if he's going to catch the ball 8 times a game, sign me up. Sign me up, guys. Run to the waiver wire, get Juwan Johnson right now if you're in any sort of tight end desperation. I think that by far and away the number one pickup on the waiver wires. Now the number 2 pickup for tight ends, and a guy that I like a lot too, rookie Harold Fannin. 3rd round pick from Bowling Green, was an absolute beast at Bowling Green, had a great athletic profile. 72% of the snaps, 9 targets, 7 catches, 63 yards. Very solid stat line for week 1. That's a very impressive stat line. I don't know if we'll see that continue. Njoku was there, but they were kind of coexisting in a sense, which is a little interesting. I didn't really think that would happen. I thought this guy would just see the field like that, but he was on the field and he was seeing a lot of targets, and it'd be interesting to see if this continues. I think he got a little bit of a rushing attempt too. He's just a really good athlete. A guy that I would definitely take a stab on. I'm not sure how I don't know how much we're going to see these numbers stay, which is why I'm probably more of a safer bet on Juwan Johnson because I think that's going to stay. I don't know if this will stay. It'll be interesting to see, but I would definitely take a shot on this guy. Just a young rookie, upside, athletic tight end. And Joe Flacco's he's a check down quarterback right now. I mean, he's not throwing deep to Judy or Tillman. I mean, if anything, he's throwing underneath to Joku, who had 6 targets, didn't really come up with anything, but he's throwing to Fannin. Tillman's a big target. He's checking down to Sampson. So it's a fun play. It's a fun upside play that I would definitely take a swing on. The floor is low. That's probably the downside with him. But this guy, he's a the way to in football terms, the way to label him, he's a H tight end. To be honest with you, 6'4", 240. That profile reminds me of Hernandez. And I don't want to bring that name up, but that's just the truth. I mean, he reminds me of Hernandez with that sort of profile. And we'll talk about Hernandez the person's a different than Hernandez the football player, but Hernandez the football player was a hell of a player. That was a rare player. I'm not saying this guy's that, but he has that profile, and that's a profile you want, especially in today's game where the tight ends are extended receivers. I mean, I could see this guy definitely getting involved. So if you get outbid on Juwan Johnson, go ahead and pick up Harold Fanning, guys. But that's it. That's all we got for this week. Again, guys, if you want to join, link in the bio, join the Discord, fire away on some questions. $10, get the full waiver wire report. Get the full write up of me, bids on everybody. But $5, you go ahead and ask me all the questions. Who do you like? Anything you want. Okay, I'll be at your disposal. We'll join the Discord group, trying to build up a community where we talk ball and just have a good time, man. I mean, let's fantasy. Like I've said before, fantasy's about the people, man. I know we're all trying to improve and whatnot. We're all trying to win, but it's about the people, man. That's truly what it's about. It's about interaction and building a community. So that's all what I'm trying to do on Discord, and also trying to provide a service. It's good to have someone to bounce ideas and questions off of. So link in the bio if you guys want to sign up. But until then, I'll see you guys on Friday for the recap show. Or I said the recap show, the preview show for week 2. Peace.